So after all the talk in the past few weeks on who was going to make the England squad, we finally know now, after Gareth Southgate announced his 26-man squad that he'll take with him to the World Cup next week. I'm sure there'll be a lot of different opinions on who's in the squad and then also who's not in the squad as well. I'm going to go through the whole squad now and just give my thoughts on who's lucky to be in the squad and who's unlucky not to be in the squad as well. So yeah, we'll start with the goalkeepers. This is fairly easy, this one. The three outstanding goalkeepers at the moment are Jordan Pickford, Nick Pope and Aaron Ramsdale. So yeah, no surprises there. So we'll move on to the defence. And we've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, Connor Cody, Eric Dyer, Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw, John Stones, Kieran Trippier, Kyle Walker and Ben White. So yeah, I'm sure most of you will probably want to talk about Harry Maguire being in the squad. I'm sure a lot of people will disagree with this, and I'm definitely one of them. For me, we've got to have people who are in form, who are playing week in, week out. You can't always look at the history and what he's done in the past. He's done well in the past, don't get me wrong. However, what he's been doing this season, that's what you've got to look at, and he's not been playing, for his club side. I just don't know how he's in the squad. He won't be in form, he won't have his match fitness, and there's also there's two players, maybe even three maybe as well, that are ahead of him. Definitely Tomori and Guy, I would have had those two over Maguire, and even Chris Smalling. Chris Smalling probably doesn't get too much of a mention because he's not playing in the Premier League, but what I've been told, and I've not actually seen much of it myself, but I've been told he's doing really well. But definitely the first two, who I've watched a lot this season in the Premier League, and I would have them over Maguire. They're two top centre halves, and they might not have experience that maybe Maguire has, but they're young, they're hungry, and they can learn. That put them in the squad and let them learn. I'm not saying they've got to start the games, but just to be in the squad. I actually think Tomori should start. I think he should be in the starting lineup. Probably it's not going to happen now, but he's not even in the squad to even get that chance. So I'm just very disappointed for those two because at least one of them should be in the squad. Both of them really, but I would definitely have had at least one of them. And the other one actually I would have replaced probably would have been Connor Cody, because Connor Cody, he's he's good for the dressing room, and people keep saying this, but honestly, I'd rather bring in someone like Guy who can learn from this more. He might not play, but at least he can learn from it. Cody's probably not going to play, to be honest with you, unless we get a lot of injuries in that area. He's probably just going to be there, and he'll be good around the dressing room and stuff. And yeah, you do need that sometimes, but we've also got other players that can do that as well in the squad. So I would have loved to see Guy and Tomori instead of those two, especially Harry Maguire. At least Cody's playing week in, week out. But to put Maguire in the squad, I don't accept that at all, and I don't agree with it. I'm sure a lot of fans don't either. However, that's the manager's choice. I think the problem actually is, before I move on to the midfield, with the defence, when I look at that squad, especially with centre-backs, there's no standout player. Not in the past when we had top centre-halves, John Terry, Rio Ferdinand, Sol Campbell, Tony Adams. I look at that England defence now, and I don't see, a world-class defender. John Stones is probably our best one, but he's had quite a lot of injuries, and he's not been in great form. He's not always even playing for City. He's definitely in the squad without doubt, but he's the best out of the team. It's not hard though, because we don't really have anyone else, and that's why for me, Tomori and Guy should be in the squad. But the rest of it, there's no really complaints there really. I think it's good we've got people like Trippier and White who can play in two positions. Kyle Walker, I'll definitely have Kyle Walker. I know he's just come back from injury, but I feel like one thing this team is lacking in that defence is pace, and Walker has that. And I think if Walker can get fit, hopefully for the second or third game, then I think he's a definite starter. Especially when it gets to the end, if we get through the group stage, of course, we'll definitely need him because He gives that pace at the back. We haven't got that much in the defence. So yeah, I think it's really important we get Kyle Walker fit. So I definitely agree with that. He's just come back from injury, and you can take a risk on one or two maybe. But there's obviously one more I'll name. I'll mention later on in the midfield that I don't agree with it being in the squad. But yeah, defence, yeah. And also, Trent Alexander-Arnold. I think he's only in because Reece James is not there. So yeah, I kind of get that why he's in the squad. I wouldn't actually have him as a right back. I would actually play him in midfield if he was ever going to play. But I think he will probably be used as a right back if not his first choice. But if we need him, if we have any injuries or whatever, I think he'll probably play right back. So yeah, apart from those two, Connor Cody and Harry Maguire, yeah, I agree with the rest of it really. Moving into midfield, so we've got Jude Bellingham, Conor Gallagher, Jordan Henderson, Declan Rice, Mason Mount, Calvin Phillips. Yeah, wow. Calvin Phillips, there's the one I was talking about just a minute ago. I like Calvin Phillips actually. He did well for England in the last tournament, and without doubt, I think if he had been playing this season, all season, he would have been in my squad without doubt. He's a top player. However, he's just come back from injury, and I just feel like you can't take too many risks. For me, we've already got Kyle Walker, who's just coming back from injury. You've got Harry Maguire, who's not in form. So I just feel like you can't take too many of these people who are either not in form or not playing well. And just come back from injury as well. And I feel like Calvin Phillips, he's a good player, but I would have had James Ward-Prowse. I think what does he have to do to get in the squad? He missed out last time, and I think James Ward-Prowse would feel very unlucky not to be in the squad. He could, if he one of the best set piece takers in the maybe in the Premier League, maybe definitely in the top three, I would have thought. And I think he deserves it. Not just even because of that. I just think he's actually a decent player in that midfield. Come on and change the game, and do things. And I would have had him over Calvin Phillips. Like I said, nothing to me against Calvin Phillips. It's just that match fitness, and I just feel like you can't take a risk. Too many risks. We've already done it with Walker, which I don't mind, but I just feel like you can't do too many risks on the injury front. So But yeah, that's what he chose. Another one that I'm a bit surprised about, and this came out of nowhere really. Well, not out of nowhere, but it wasn't even in my thoughts actually. I didn't even think he'll be involved at all. And that's Conor Gallagher. And I'm really surprised by this one actually. He's done well last year at Palace, but this season he's not done that well. He's came in had a few good games for Chelsea, but not even been starting every week either. He's a good young player. I'm sure in the future he's going to be a good player for England. But I just feel for this tournament, I don't feel like he's done enough, and I would have actually brought in another striker. I'll give it away now. But Tony, I would have been. I just said Tony's not in the forward, one of the forwards. I would have brought Tony in for this, or even Eze. Actually, Eze would have been another pick I would have chose. But yeah, that he's chosen those, and if Calvin Phillips can, if he can prove his fitness, and he could be a top player for us. But I don't know. I think it's just too much of a risk. I just feel like there's another player in there who's ready to play in James Ward-Prowse. But yeah, that's what it is, isn't it? Apart from that, though, everyone else, Declan Rice, Bellingham, they're the first choices, and then Mason Mount as well. And then Jordan Henderson's a good, someone experienced, someone a leader in the dressing room. So yeah, apart from that, I agree with most of our midfield. Moving into the forwards, so we've got Harry Kane, we've got Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, James Maddison, Marcus Rashford, Saka, Raheem Sterling, and Callum Wilson. And we'll talk about Callum Wilson first. Deserved a spot in the team. Really happy that he's in there, and just shows the manager at least is giving some people that are in form, a game or in the squad at least anyway, and that's good to see. And then also James Maddison, I really thought he wasn't going to be picked. I think that was the biggest talking point of the past few weeks. Been in great form, probably one of the most informed players in the league. And I'm so happy he's in there. I think he can give a lot. I think he's got a good chance of even starting maybe think it's out of him or Mount who will start in that number 10 role. Yeah, so I'm really happy he's in there. You know, you've got to pick people who are on form. And yeah, as I said, Tony I would have had as well, maybe another striker. You know, because you know I know you got Wilson and Kane, but I think you can afford to have another forward in that team. But yeah, so unlucky for Tony. The rest of it, yeah, it's kind of yeah, Phil Foden, of course Kane. Really glad Marcus Rashford's in there. He's done really well for the past few weeks for Manchester United. So yeah, he can give you an option as well. I'm not sure he will start, being my starting 11, but I think he's a good impact sub. And Raheem Sterling, I know he's not been great for Chelsea, but he normally does well for England, and he normally Gareth Southgate does like him, so I kind of get why he's in. And there's no one else really that I would have say is playing well enough to take Sterling out of the team. You know, there's no standout winger, you know, that I would take out of the team, take out of the squad to replace him. Jack Grealish is maybe the one, maybe a bit of question mark. But, you know, he's someone that with Jack Grealish, you know, I know he's not been playing week in, week out for City, but he's someone that can do something different off the bench. He can cause, you know, problems, get fouls, and, yeah, he's very, yeah, I'm happy. I don't mind that too much, you know. I wouldn't mind of Eze, but maybe it's just a bit too soon for him. But, yeah, so overall, the squad, you know, there's 3 positions or 3 people that I feel like are lucky to be in the team. Or in the squad, and that's yeah, Harry Maguire, Calvin Phillips, and Conor Gallagher. I would have had Tomori, James Ward-Prowse, and Tony, but you know, I'm not the manager. He's the Gareth Southgate's the manager. We've got to trust him, and hopefully England can do well. I'll probably do another video next week on the England squad. I'll probably choose my starting 11 for the first game against Iran. So yeah, I'll come back on and do that. But yeah, yeah, you know, we can't do nothing now. It's a squad, and we have to get on with it. So anyway, guys, have a good night, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.